moment here. Just got to get my get something together. Welcome to the show, though. Glad you're here. And welcome. I'm hoping that I got everything set up here. I'm close. I know you can hear me, though, even though the music's a little loud. I'll turn that down. It's Wednesday, hump day on the Morning Night Live. It looks like a bunch of you are here already, so that's good. The theme is it's happening because something happened in Texas. You can see it in the thumbnail, but something happened in Texas that hasn't happened in a really, really long time. Now, I'm never necessarily convinced that one special election can predict the future. But there's several things about this particular one that caused me to bring it up today. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more on today's show. Kind of a news day. Welcome to the show. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel on this Wednesday, hump day, the 15th of June, 2022, where special elections can predict the future. Anyway, I am glad that I am here. I am glad that you're here. I'm here on time for a change. It's nice to get out of work on time, just make it to the show. That's really important, and it happened today, so I'm happy about that. I hope you are too. People are slowly rolling in, but let's talk to the ones who are here because you're here, and since you're the only ones who can hear me talking anyway. First in chat today is and Bell Worthy is Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Trippy Liberties in the house. What's up? Good morning, Tyler F., Ty Alexander, Simon Wolfwood, Keebler's in there already here. Good morning, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Good morning. Hello, Hate Camel, one of the original viewers of the Morning Night Live. Nobody Not Me is in the house. Greetings, everyone, didn't he says. And Attack Alpaca's here. Maddie's in the house. Nice to see you. Also, good morning to Rotten Corpse, Random American. Jen T, what's up? My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony's in the house. Sorry, Jen. Jaeger Pony will always be my favorite Canadian. Also, good morning. This is Kyle. So a lot of you already rolling in. Please, what you can do would be helpful if you would share this stream right now, because now, granted, I did get my own little little tweet thing out. If you want to just retweet me. By the way, I just realized it's on the screen down at the bottom here. Right down here. That's that's my Instagram. That's Yes That Marty, where I'm on Instagram. Here, I'll put it with my finger so you can see where I'm pointing. My Instagram right there, Yes That Marty. My Twitter handle, and basically any social media. Twitter, Minds, Gab, Parler, Getter, CloudHub. I think that's all of them. I'm at P-Dog Night. And then obviously you're here at my YouTube channel. So that's a good thing. Anyway, so I'm glad you're here. And let's see. Okay, Avocatus. The special elections, should the term be neurodivergent elections now? Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I read an article this morning, or not an article, I did read an article this morning. Apparently, the big heffa singer, what's her name, Lizzo. She has a song out, and a new song, and it's a new single. And some people are really upset about this new single because of some language she uses in the single. Now, it wasn't the part where she says something about bitch. And it wasn't part of the song where she was talking about possibly cutting someone's male anatomy off. No, it wasn't the part about where she said, let's see, assaulting a random stranger. Nope. But the part that was offended people was the fact that she used the word spaz. Spaz. In fact, I'm going to pull this article up because I think it's hilarious. I mean, well, hilarious is I suppose hilarious, maybe not hilarious. It's sad that this is what causes this woman to change the lyrics of a song. But this is fascinating. Okay. So she has this song. What the hell's going on here? Why am I? There we go. So Lizzo releases a new version of Girls with a lyric change after blowback for the use of an ableist slur. Now, this weird, this big old heifer. Lizzo is 100% ready to listen and change, starts the article. On Monday, the music artist announced that she has released a new version of her single, Girls, changing the lyrics to eliminate an ableist slur that received some backlash over the weekend. She writes, "It's been brought to my attention that there are..." Oh, I just thought of something that I didn't do, and I need to do it quick before anybody... Oh my gosh, my computer is just killing me. I'm gonna have to get a new processor. I really do. The i3 is no longer cutting it. Or maybe do I have an i5? I don't know. I'm gonna move it, get a 32 gig i9, I think, processor, because this is craziness. All right, there, I fixed that. All right, it's been brought to my she says it's been brought to my attention that there is a harmful word in my new song Girls, she shared in a Twitter post. Let's make one thing clear. I never want to promote derogatory language. It's because she put the word spaz in her song. And then she says, as a fat black woman in America, I've had many hurtful words used against me. Oh, I guess I shouldn't have said a heifer then. So I understand the power of words can have, whether intentionally or in my case, unintentionally. She continued, I'm proud to say there's a new version of Girls with a lyric change. This is a result of me listening and taking action. As an influential artist, I'm dedicated to be a part of the change I've been waiting for. Okay, so, and the reason I think I highlighted, well, what I said, I noticed is because Matt Walsh said something about it. And here's the clip, that was the Entertainment Weekly. Let's go back one. Here it is. So the song is full of profanity and violence. She threatens to cut a man's penis off and assault random strangers. But the part that offends people is when she used the word spaz. We are the dumbest society in history of the world. Yeah, you know, I got to tell you. And in fact, she didn't even use it as a... well, she wasn't intending to use it as a slur. She was saying that she would spaz out, which is in the black community means you're going to go ham or go crazy or whatever. But anyway, she changed the words because a bunch of people pissed off about the word spaz. Kind of like, you know, remember when Eminem, I guess he was using the word fajo, you know, the word fajo. And some people were getting mad at him about it, but he was just saying, yeah, no, we just, not about a gay person, just a fajo. But anyway, that's a big bitch. Yes, she is. Like, hi, Black Hebrew Israelite. How are you? I see you there. So anyway, wow. Just wow. Now, the other thing, speaking of words and language, another one here, this one caught my eye too. I don't know if I can see this one though, because I see the Independent, and Independent blocks all their stuff. Let's see. Oh, looks like, no, I'll have to get let me get a archive version of it just a second, because this one's hilarious too. Because Well, I have some questions about this next one, and let's see if somebody archived it. Oh, they did it, but there's only 179 in the queue. Anyway, good morning, Richo, my friend from down under. What's happening? Yes, Keebler, spaz is bad now. Spaz is a bad word because it's ableist. It's someone, I guess, apparently someone who was mad about it is someone who has cerebral palsy, and she's like, that's, this is a slur against disabled people. I'm like, it just makes your head hurt. It just does make your head hurt. Anyway, good morning, cameraman Jay. Bundle of sticks is offensive, but it's a narcissist sin month. Well, one of the tweets I was reading about this, it was someone, they were comparing it to the word, fag, which in some places of the world, that's just a slang for cigarettes in jolly old England, where I don't know how to do an English accent, so I'm not going to do it today. Anyway, yeah, so yes, spaz is bad. Now, did you hear, speaking of words that you possibly shouldn't be using, the WHO, the World Health Organization, apparently has decided to change the name of monkeypox. Now, you'll never guess why the World Health Organization has decided to change the name of monkeypox. Much like the word spaz, the name of the disease monkeypox is apparently offensive. Now, I got to thinking about this, and for some reason this article is not loading, but I got to thinking about this because they think it sounds racist. Okay, now Jen, you are correct because it's yes. Now let's talk about that. If you are someone who believes that the name monkeypox is racist, if that thought came to your mind, I got questions for you, because that's the first thing you thought of when you see the word monkeypox, you know what? I think you might be the one. Here it is. The World Health Organization has said that working with scientists, or has said it is working with scientists. Science! You're blinding me with science. Scientists to come up with a new name for the monkeypox virus that will not be discriminatory and stigmatizing. Now, again, World Health Organization, who perchance is the name monkeypox discriminatory and stigmatizing too? Are you calling, motherfucker, you calling me a monkey? WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced on Tuesday that the organization is working with partners and experts from around the world on changing the name of monkeypox. Its clades and the disease it causes. The WHO spokesman said the agency is consulting experts in orthopox viruses, the family to which monkeypox belongs, to come up with an appropriate name. Why is that an inappropriate name? It comes from contact with monkeys. Anyway, The health agency is also holding an emergency meeting next week. An emergency meeting next week.
Come on, man.
To determine whether to classify the outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern. Does this shit kill you? Has anyone died from I don't know if anyone's died from monkeypox. Good morning, Natasha, Straight Sith Male San. I see you in the chat. Welcome. Naming disease. Okay, now here's the rub. Naming diseases should be done with the aim to minimize the negative impact and avoid causing offense to any cultural, social, national, regional, or professional or ethnic groups. A WHO spokesman was quoted as saying by Bloomberg. The WHO chief said the organization will make announcements about the new names as soon as possible. This comes after more than 30 scientists wrote last week that there was an urgent need for a non-discriminatory and non-stigmatizing nomenclature for monkeypox virus. Do they have this letter? Okay, let's read the letter. Because it says here, published online, so the new nomenclature would be in line with best practice in naming infectious diseases in a way that minimizes unnecessary negative impacts on nations. Geographic. What? Okay, here's the letter. Let's read this shit. Oh no, am I going to get... Okay, here we go. I think the link works. Good. Let's get the link to this. Holy shit. Good morning, Lord Stand Up. Good morning, Ebony Williams. How are you? Come on, baby. Load up. Okay, here we go. The Foreign Press Association, Africa, registers its displeasure against media outlets using images of black people. Wait a minute, let me go back to this. Along stories of the monkeypox outbreaks in North America and the United Kingdom. Oh, so they had pictures. Hello, John Migda. They had pictures of people who had monkeypox, and they happened to be black people. So the Foreign Press Association immediately associated the name monkeypox with black people. Oh.
That's racist!
Our statement on use of images of black people to depict the outbreak of monkeypox in Europe and North America. The Foreign Press Association Africa registers its displeasure against media outlets using the images of black people alongside stories of the monkeypox outbreak in North America and the United Kingdom. That's the same damn statement. According to the World Health Organization, monkeypox is a zoonotic disease caused by monkeypox virus, a member of the orthopoxvirus genus and in the family of Poxviridae. As any other disease, it can occur in any region in the world and afflict anyone, regardless of race or ethnicity. As such, we believe that no race or skin complexion should be the face of the disease. No, pictures of the disease should be the face of the disease. But anyway, it is therefore disturbing for European and North American media outlets to use stock images bearing persons with dark, black, and African skin complexion to depict an outbreak of the disease in the United Kingdom and North. Okay, fine. Ask him to put some white people with monkeypox on there. Look. Sometimes if you happen to see racism in something that nobody else sees, I got news for you. You might be the racist. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, Maddie, I'm just reading your question here from a while ago, and I will ask Lady Boomer that question. And if so, Maddie, I know you're here somewhere. I see you're in the chat. You were in the chat earlier because I ran the chuck horn. But yes, I will ask her and see what we can do for you. All right, let's. That is funny. Thank you, Zach and Tawate, for subscribing. I appreciate you joining the gang, joining the dog pound, as I occasionally call it. All right, let's get into some what I meant to get into today, though, because I did not plan on talking about monkeypox, but it is trending. What is going on here? By the way, thank you to a couple people. Raven Moon, I appreciate you retweeting Maddie's tweet. And Maddie, I appreciate you tweeting out the show like you often do, and most often do. And anyone, please retweet the show. Also, by the way, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you haven't done so far, hit the like button, because if you're still here, you must like this, what we're doing. 28 people in, 20 likes. Somebody hasn't done it yet. I know you'll get to it. Don't worry about that. Also, if you're watching a replay, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you would share the stream, that's the biggest. Share the stream, because Zach and Tawata probably found this stream because one of you shared it, and that is greatly appreciated. Also, if you would be so kind, if you are want to sponsor shows, you can sponsor the show at pdognight.live, which is our Streamlabs link. You can watch the show there. You can participate in the chat, and if you so please sponsor the show. You can also do YouTube super chats down there somewhere. I think it's down there. Or what's the other one? Oh, I got a couple other ways to in the description down below. But Streamlabs and super chats I will read on the show, as I often do. All right, shall we get into the news today? Now, there is a rumor, and I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm confident in the Republican Party grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory, but it could happen. So there's an interesting article in the National Journal. Let's see, is that yesterday? Yes. No, it's this morning. This is this morning's National Journal asking the question, how big of a wave can House Republicans expect? Because they're predicting that the House Republicans are going to have a huge wave. Now, there's always ways they can fuck it up. I'm not necessarily thinking that it's inevitable. But there's a sub-headline is, if Republicans net 35 seats, they'd hold their biggest House majority since 1929. If they win 29 seats, they'd match the number of seats held in the 2010 midterms, which would be interesting. If we assume the House Republicans will cash in on their favorable political environment, there is still plenty of confusion over how to predict the size of the wave. Now, let's remember, Democrats thought they were going to have a big old blue wave during Trump's midterms, which turned out to be a trickle, like a drought spring waterfall. But so I never like to predict this kind of stuff. However, if you want to read I'm not even going to read the rest of the article. I just saying they have this, they're thinking up to 35 House seats, maybe. That would be crazy. But it's not unheard of in history, right? But there's one particular election that has already happened that makes me go, by the way, good morning, legit low talker. I know you're here. I saw you. And that is the race in Texas. I should probably put this in this so you can see it. Let's try this. So there's this interesting race in Texas, a special election that happened. And it's in the south of Texas. And, good morning, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
In a special election, GOP flips heavily Hispanic South Texas House seat. Now, this qualifies as this is the article from American Thinker. This qualifies as a political earthquake in a special primary election to fill out the term of former Representative Philemon Vela, who resigned his House seat in March. GOP candidate Mayra Flores received 50.98% of the vote, making a runoff election unnecessary. Re-elect Flores will represent the Texas 34 Congressional District that runs along the Gulf Coast to the Mexican border, which is 84.54% Hispanic. This is fascinating. Hispanic voters are dumping the Democrats, a trend that has the potential to doom the party at a national level. Now, I'm never going to say that that's 100% because, again, Republicans are often good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, as I have already said. But this is pretty wild. The first Mexican-born woman ever elected to Congress is a Republican, Maya Flores, who ran on a pro-borders, pro-patriotism, pro-God, and pro-family platform. Now, that's some narrative busting. They said, how's that for narrative busting? But I said, that's some narrative busting right there. The Hispanic shift is real, and we're just getting started. So here's her. Let's see what she says here.
It's all about God. It's all about our families. It's all about Texas District 34 first. And it's time that we put our communities and the well-being of our families. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for being here. I'm eternally grateful. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, so that's Myra Flores talking about her victory in this district. Now, and then she tweeted out, this historic victory will bring God to the halls of Congress, which look, while I am a Christian and all that, but I understand the thought of church, state, shall they never between. But if she's bringing values to Congress, I don't mind that. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Plus, she's a fine individual. Anyway, this win is for the people who were ignored for so long. This is a message that the establishment will no longer be tolerated. We have officially started the red wave. Texas 34. Now you think, first of all, okay, why is this a big deal? I mean, this is Texas. I mean, yes, she is Hispanic, and it's an 84% for almost 85% Hispanic district, blah, 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 blah. But it's still Texas, right? Texas is a red state, yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing. This is a district or an area that hasn't had a Republican represent it, I want to say since 1870. Yes, this was one of those old block Democrat districts forever, even before the even when the Democrats were the Klan and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then even since then, it's always been a Democrat district in Texas. It's one of the rare ones, right? Now, Flores was only going to serve until January, but she'll be the incumbent when this seat comes up for re-election in November. So she already has an advantage. And the fact that so in these runoff elections in Texas, they have several candidates, and then if no one gets 50.1%, then I think the top two go and run again. But in this case, she got 51% of the vote in this district over all the other candidates. So that's wild. But here's the note that the Texas Tribune notes. The special election was unique in that it was held under the previous lines of the 34th district, which President Joe Biden won by only 4 percentage points. But the redistricting made the district more friendly to Democrats in November when the Democratic nominee is U.S. Representative Vicente Gonzalez from McAllen. But again, even this area before that, hasn't been represented by Republicans since the 1870s. Now, if the new more Democratic district elects Gonzalez in November, the Dems will be having a talking point to refute the trend of Hispanic voters going Republican. But incumbents have a large advantage in most races, and Joe Biden's performance in the office is a millstone around the neck of any Democrat, so a Dem win is far from certain outcome, and the trend is likely to continue in other districts with heavily Hispanic populations because the Democrats keep calling them Latinx. Okay, that's not what the article says, but they keep calling them Latinx or Latinx or whatever the hell, however the hell you're supposed to pronounce that bullshit. And Hispanics don't like that. Plus, you know what else the Hispanic culture is not thrilled with? Look, so we talk a lot about the school district things and the trans and the stuff they're talking in the schools and stuff like that. In the Hispanic community, That is not a big thing. In fact, that's a very frowned upon thing. These are even the look. So Democrat thinks you open the border and all these Hispanic people from different countries are coming here, from Mexico and Costa Rica and all that shit, right? And they think, oh yes, we're gonna get these people they have melanin like the black people, and they're gonna vote just like them, and right? They think, oh, the Hispanics are automatically gonna vote for us. But let's remember, most of these Hispanics are Catholic. And the Democrats aren't real Catholic friendly. Well, at least not the American. They're American Catholic friendly, but they're not traditional Catholic friendly. And so a lot of the stuff, and also, you know what else they're not happy with? Because a lot of these people are escaping like pseudo communist and socialist places, and they're not happy about communism and socialism and shit. And they're like, no. We came to America to leave that shit behind. But 84% Hispanic in this Republican one. Wow. That's deep. Let's see. The 34th district was created in 2010, so it has not been represented by a Republican for its entire existence as a separate seat. However, the area has been represented by Democrats for over a century, according to Ryan Savitra of the Daily Wire. And I think is that the end of the article? Yeah, that's the end of the article. So yeah, that's wild. I gotta tell you, that's pretty wild. I don't know if that's foreshadowing or not, but if that's the case, that's wild. Good morning, Cannon Hotep. I see you. Good morning, James Colley. What's happening? And I already said hi to Richo, so all right, I'm caught up. Oh, Man Squatch is here too. Good morning to you. All right, let's move on here. Now, Don Lemon even had something to say about this because, because people talk about stuff on here. Let's hear what Don Lemon thinks about this. I'm gonna take this. I don't want to. I'm gonna expand that. All right, let's. They were talking about this on CNN yesterday, and here's the video. If I can get it to start at the beginning, there we go. All right, here it is.
84% Hispanic population in that district. Hillary Clinton won this district huge. Barack Obama won this district huge. Biden, it was a narrow victory for him. You can see in terms of like larger macro political issues right now going on in this country. To me tonight,
Don
Texas
look happy,
34.
does he?
The movement of Hispanic voters towards the Republican Party and
Don
that
does
part
not
of
look
Texas,
happy.
to me, is one of the biggest stories of the night. I know it's not quite final yet, but it's a big deal.
What do you make of that? Do you see a trouncing, Kirsten? I think Scott is indicating that there's going to be a trouncing of Democrats come midterm.
Is that what he indicated?
Do you agree with that?
Well, I think that is sort of the expectation.
84%.
So anyway, Don Lemon using the word trouncing. That's interesting. All right, let's move on because I want to try to get through everything today since I got here on time. I'm going to try to get through everything I put on the board. We're going to stay into politics for a moment. Yeah, she does blink a lot. She was blinking because she's trying to figure out how to lie about it. She's like, she wanted to put a spin on it. Anyway, let's see. Now I don't know. Oh, I don't care about this. So there are primaries in I think 4 states yesterday, and another wave of Trump-backed candidates won their primaries, except for I think Nancy Mace is the only one who didn't win it. I'm going to leave the story up there, but I don't really want to talk about that one. Now this is interesting. This is again, it's Breitbart, so you gotta take it with a grain of Breitbart salt. But Joe Biden calls it a day before 2 p.m. President Joe Biden, remember the campaign? He kept, what did he call it when he would pause his campaign, or they had a name for it. Who can remember what the name they had when Joe Biden would stop the day early during the campaign? I don't know how this guy even won. I mean, he did. YouTube, he's our president, but what did they call it when Biden used to stop his day like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon every day? They had a special name for it. Anyway, President Joe Biden called it a day on Tuesday after returning to the White House following a quick trip to Philadelphia. Biden delivered a 35-minute speech on the 29th Quadrennial AFL-CIO convention at 11 a.m., trying to defend his economic agenda despite growing dissatisfaction in the country with high gas prices and growing inflation. The president made it back to the White House by 1:30 p.m. and did not make any further stops during his trip. He did not take questions from reporters as he returned to the White House and entered the Oval Office. The White House called it, a lid. He put a lid on it. Yes, thank you. And that's in the article too, but thank you for reminding me. They put a lid on the day. Called the lid for the president's public activities at 1:51 p.m. The lid typically informs reporters that the president will not appear again in public until the following day. It is unclear what the president had on his schedule for the remainder of the day, as it was not revealed to the press earlier in the afternoon. Anyway, so he put a lid on it. Now, did anyone see? Did anyone see that clip of Joe Biden like screaming at the AFL-CIO? Let me see if I can find that. It was kind of wild. Let me get back onto the right page here. And I don't want to, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Let's go. Biden, AFL. Why doesn't that pop up already? There we go. Biden at the AFL-CIO. This clip is of him screaming. Where is the clip? Oh, I didn't see this clip here. Let's look. I want to just look at some clips of him talking to the AFL-CIO. Here's one. Let's do this one. Let's see. Biden calls the lid. Let's go there. And that's not the clip I wanted to show. I wanted to show the clip of him screaming. Oh no. Here's a couple. We'll do a couple clips from it. Just a second. This was not in the plan either, but sometimes you just have to roll with what's in front of you. Where's the one of him screaming? Oh, this is the one right here. This is the oh, we'll show you a few.
I don't want to hear it.
No. Hang on. Come on, mouse, work. I need a producer. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll let's look at 3 clips from this speech he gave to the AFL-CIO because they're all fascinating. So, first one is, if my mouse would work and my computer would work, that'd be fantastic. Biden screaming reminded me of Hillary screaming about not being ahead in a poll. Yeah. Oh my gosh. These are crazy. Good morning, Raisler. How you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, good Lord. What in the hell is going on with my computer? Okay, so the first clip, he's talking about Stacey Abrams. Let's see what he says about Stacey Abrams. As soon as the clip loads, and come on, here we go.
All a favor, help her in Georgia.
Hang on, here we go.
And Stacey Abrams is here as well. By the way, I'm going to ask you all a favor. Help her in Georgia. Help Stacey Abrams in Georgia. There's 3 things I learned about her early on. 1, she's loyal. 2, she's capable. And 3, she's smarter than you, me. She knows what she's doing. So, folks, please help her out.
Okay, that's a low bar. That's a low bar, which he, at least when he said me. Okay, so that's what he said about Stacey Abrams. Let's see another clip here. This is, he's bragging about working with the AFL-CIO to end Delaware's right to work status.
Y'all bring me to the dance. Thank you. Please, have a seat if there is one.
Boy, he slurs his words a lot.
You're a gigantic reason why I'm standing here. standing here today as your president. I really mean it.
You know, it's funny.
I owe you from the very beginning of my...
Okay, so I happen to be in the Teamsters just because I have to work at UPS, right? And I got to say, a lot of my fellow Teamsters didn't vote for Joe Biden. I'm just saying. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that out loud, but that's the truth. I'm sorry. I'm pulling a Joe Biden here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have our first sponsor of the day. Remember, you can sponsor the show at pdognight.live over there. And one of our big sponsors, and I mean really big sponsors. And when I say really big, I mean really, really big sponsors. Thank you, Rachel Maddow's Dildo. I'm just reading it right here on the screen. It's Rachel's Maddow's Dildo, who says, oh, what the hell? No. Rachel's Maddow's Dildo says, I've just been informed the monkeypox is normally spread by anal sex. I'm in danger each time her sister uses me. I need to warn Don Lemon Buttplug to be careful. Can it be spread by trans women? I hope I don't find out. Going back in. Okay, thank you, Rachel Maddow's Dildo. I think. I'm not so sure. But thank you, Rachel Maddow's Dildo. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Okay. Enough of that shit. All right, let's see. Let's go back to Joe Biden here talking to the AFL-CIO. Let's see. Here's he was saying something here about ending the right to work status in Delaware.
Running for office back when I was a kid, it was labor, unions, made a difference. At the time, we were right to work state, and we changed that too. I've never forgotten not only what you've done for me, but how importantly it meant to me and to the country, to our country.
Okay,
what you've
so
done for
he's
the country.
bragging that
I want to...
They've got rid of Delaware's right to work state, meaning you have a right to work even if you're not belonging to the union. Oh my gosh. He threatens the largest release of oil from the global fund. He meant the strategic oil reserves. Here, hang a second here. Oh, come on. Let's see.
But here's the deal. America still has a choice to make. A choice between a government by the few, for the few, or a government for all of us. Democracy for all of us. An economy where all of us have a fair shot and a chance to earn our place in the economy.
I don't know what the hell
My
that
plan
means,
is
Joe.
simple. First, I'm doing everything in my power to blunt Putin's gas price hike.
Again, blaming Putin for the gas price hike.
Just since he invaded Ukraine, it's gone up $1.74 a gallon.
It went up $1.50 a gallon with before Putin. And good God, shut up. Dude.
Because of nothing else but that.
Oh, nothing else but that? Really? Because oh no, well.
So I have a plan to bring down the cost of gas and food. It's going to take time, but let the world coordinate the largest release, what I've been able to do. The largest release of oil from the global fund in history. 1 million barrels a day.
The SPR,
and 240 million barrels to boost global supply while I convinced other nations to join us. to keep prices from rising even more. And I'm working close.
Now, he also talked about how he was going to combat inflation. Hello, Tales of Gore and USP 2011 816. Okay. So he also talked about inflation. Now, when you're planning on fighting inflation, what do you think what do you think he's going to do to fight inflation? This one is some cognitive dissonance.
Mortgage costs, high-speed internet. You guys out there are going to be putting on high-speed, and we've already got the money for it, billions of dollars. Well, guess what? When you get it done, it's going to lower the cost of high-speed internet for every family in America by $30 a month.
What?
That's a lot of money.
How can he guarantee that? He's going to lower your internet cost by $30 a month by him putting more high-speed internet everywhere. What are you talking about?
A lot of jobs. Look, we can do all this. All I'm asking is for the largest corporations and the wealthiest Americans.
USB. Produce more, to solve global warming. Yes, exactly.
To begin to pay their fair share of taxes.
Okay, hang on. Now here's
a lot of jobs.
Listen to this.
Look, we can do all this. All I'm asking is for the largest corporations and the wealthiest Americans to begin to pay their fair share in taxes.
He's whispering again. So he's going to raise their taxes. Interesting.
I'm deadly earnest. Anybody out there think the tax system is fair? Raise your hand. Look, under my plan, I made this commitment in the beginning and nothing's changed. No one making less than $400,000 a year will pay a single solitary penny more in federal taxes. Nobody.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. So nobody under $400,000 a year is going to pay a single penny more in federal taxes. Are you going to raise the gas tax, Joe? Because that's federal tax. Oh, he means federal income tax. If I had an X, it would sound like this. X'd out. But his idea of addressing inflation is to raise taxes on corporations. I wonder how that works.
But we'll no longer have a situation where 55 of the largest Fortune 500 companies made $40 billion each year, the last 2 years.
So what?
And paid zero.
Paid zero my ass. They paid taxes. Oh, so they paid no payroll taxes? Is that what he's saying? Did they hire any people and pay payroll taxes? How can a corporation that made billions of dollars not pay payroll taxes? Did you exempt them from that too? And who wrote the tax law that made that possible? Did any of those companies lose money during the pandemic? Is that maybe why part of the reason they didn't pay taxes the way you wanted them to? I don't know. It's fascinating. He just let's see this last one. I got one after this though. The best one is the last. Here's a new one. This is good.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Let's see if he gets it right.
All men and women are created equal.
He likes that line.
Endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty. We've never met the goal, but we've never, other than the Trump administration, tried to walk away from that goal.
Whoa. What? How did we try to walk away from that goal of the Trump administration? What are you talking about, Joe? What are you talking about? What did he say?
Inalienable rights, life, liberty. We've never met the goal, but we've never, other than the Trump administration, tried to walk away from that goal.
Well, at least he didn't do one of these.
You know the thing. and it gets better every time we push. And unions.
Yeah, well, how are we living now,
Unions are going
Joe?
to play a critical role in that future. America's always counted on union workers. Give me us half a chance. You have never, ever, ever, ever let the country down. We're counting on you again to build this country for all of us. Help build an economy that works for working people. And I promise you, I'm going to keep fighting for you. Are you prepared to fight with me? Well, let's build it together. Let's continue to give working families a fighting chance. Face our challenges head on. And let's...
Okay, Joe. It's not working. The shit ain't working. Ain't nobody believe you. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Because here's my favorite. Here's my favorite.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
Yeah, y'all are changing people's lives, I bet. We're changing you're changing from me having some extra money at the end of the month to me just hoping that I can make it to the end of the month. Joe, thank you, Joe. You are the best. Good point. Prince 4 trillion complains about 40 billion. I should have that on here. You get pinned for that one. I'm going to start pinning messages to the top, and that's a good one. Anyway, all right, let's move on because now, speaking of Joseph Rahim Biden, his approval rating keeps going down and down. And apparently at Gallup, Joe Biden, his approval rating is now the lowest in Gallup's history at this point in their presidency. On day 487 in office, President Joe Biden set a new record. He has the lowest approval rating of all presidents at this point in their presidency since Gallup started tracking in 1945. According to the Gallup's Presidential Job Approval Center, just 41% approve of Joe Biden of the job Joe Biden is doing. That's worse than Gerald Ford or Lyndon Johnson or even Jimmy Carter on day 487. Much worse than Ronald Reagan, the Bushes, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. To add insult to injury, Biden's approval rating is now lower than Trump's was at this point in Trump's first term. Biden, presidential response to his cratering in the poll, he is seething. Instead of accepting blame, Biden and his inner circle are blaming everyone around them, including the White House staff. Political reports that members of Biden's inner circle, including First Lady Jill Biden and the president's sister, Valerie Biden Owens, have complained that West Wing staff has managed Biden with kid gloves, not putting him on the road more or allowing him to flash more of his genuine, relatable, albeit gaffe-prone self. They need to hide him because he says stupid shit all the time. Anyway, it's pretty wild. He's 41% is lowest, and not a good time to be at 41% either. Lower than Carter at this point. Oh, yeah, Carter was at 43. Now, a lot of presidents in their first term, as you can see, are below 50%. Carter, Reagan, Obama, Trump, Biden, and still had, whether you liked their presidency, I don't even know how to call them successful presidencies because it's hard to tell because Joe Biden has had the most sycophantic press possible. I mean, I can understand Trump being at 42% at this point as president because the press was just beating him up every freaking day, and they're talking about Russia, and all the other nonsense. But Joe Biden, it's the most tongue taint cleaning service on the planet is the press for Joe Biden. Did I say that right? Tongue taint. Yeah. Anyway, so the idea that he's at 41% with a completely adoring press, although the press is breaking a little bit too, as you saw in that Don Lemon clip. Anyway, good morning, Fight for Our Right, and Rock Hopper, another friend from Down Under. All right, so let's see. Let me move on because that's what I do. Where are we at? We've got. Oh, this is not good either. Now, somebody saw the clip of AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, being asked by someone, I believe at the Today Show or someone, if she would support Biden's second run for office, which she gave a very emphatic non-answer. Well, also, the Daily Caller has asked 50 Democratic senators if they would endorse Biden in 2024. Only 5 said yes. Now, that doesn't mean others said no. That just means I'm guessing many of them refused to answer the question. The Daily Caller, or didn't answer. That's what I should say. The Daily Caller contacted all 50 Senate Democrats repeatedly and asked if they would support President Joe Biden in his 2024 presidential bid. 5 senators said yes. The spokesman for Senate Majority Leader and Democratic New York Senator Chuck Schumer, smarmy prick from New York, responded to the Daily Caller with one-word answer. One-word answer, yes. The spokesman for Democratic Senators Tim Kaine of Virginia and Jack Reed of Rhode Island reportedly responded the same way. One-word answer? Yes. Democratic New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, spokesman, also said the senator would endorse Biden, noting, yes, Senator Booker supports President Biden for re-election should he run again in 2024. Several members of the Democratic Party have recently cast doubt on Biden's support for his presidential run in 2024 amid his desperate polling numbers. This week, Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez refused to answer if she would endorse Biden, saying, we'll take a look at it when the time comes. Democratic officials and voters also cited the poor state of the country and Biden's age as reasons they are hesitant to be fully behind Biden now in an article from the New York Times. Now that is interesting because they're starting to talk about age, and I don't remember who I was listening to this morning who was saying that, see, this thing about saying age, this has kind of a double duty because when they removed Biden from office in February or March of 2023, my prediction still, they're going to cite age as the part of the problem that, he's getting a little, wackadoodle in the head. But it also serves another purpose by making this age a huge issue because there's some people they also don't want to run. One, Donald Trump, who's going to be the same age as Biden was when Biden ran this time. Donald Trump will be that age when the 2024 elections come around. They don't want Donald Trump to run, so they want to make age a big issue. Also, someone they probably don't want to run is Hillary Rodham Clinton, who will also be in her late 70s in the 2024 election. And they definitely don't want her, even though they want her fundraising money, her and Bill Clinton. There's also one other person they probably don't want to run in the 2024 election because they know if this person even comes close to a nomination, he will get blasted by the public, and that would be Senator Bernie Sanders. So they're going to make age an issue, and they're going to try to get rid of Biden because of age. And when they get rid of him in 2023 and they move Kamala Harris up to the presidency, that will be the reason because of age and senile, and he's slurring his words and all that other shit. So anyway, but now Chris Coons, let's see, what did they say about this? What the hell? Get off my screen. Damn Daily Caller. Democratic Delaware Senator Chris Coons spokesperson answered the Daily Caller's inquiry with a reference to the senator's recent comments about the Biden 2024 run. It is my understanding that the president intends to seek a second term, and I understand why, Coons said in a Monday interview, adding that Biden's leadership on the world stage has been impressive. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a laughable line, and I certainly laughed out loud. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre confirmed Wednesday that Biden is planning to run in 2024. She said, to be clear, the president has said repeatedly he plans to run in 2024. Coons cited Biden's performance in foreign policy. Really? You mean those leaders of other countries that are reluctant to meet with this fool? The $1 trillion infrastructure bill, Biden's vow to tackle healthcare costs, and his clear plans, quote unquote, on how to handle inflation as reason why Biden deserves support. Clear plans on how to handle inflation. Oh, Lord. Let's move on. Good Lord. Let's see. Another. Oh, did you see this? Apparently the DNC rescheduled a fundraiser with Kamala Harris for lack of ticket sales. The Democratic National Committee reportedly had to reschedule its Women's Leadership Forum fundraiser on May 25th and 26th with Vice President Kamala Harris for lack of ticket sales. The event was rescheduled last minute for the autumn when the event is traditionally held after the events couldn't sell enough tickets. Status Quo News reported when the invites were sent out on May 5th, it was hyped as an incredible opportunity to mingle in person after 2 years of virtual events and meetings. Yay. It gets both. Ticket prices range from $250 to $50,000. Holy shit, these people live in a different world, I gotta tell you. DNC spokesman Daniel Wessel is on record claiming Kamala Harris is a huge draw for events, but did not give the reason why the event was rescheduled. Yes, she's a huge draw, and maybe they just couldn't find enough $50,000 donors. Anyway, let's move on. Now, this is just Paul Joseph Watson saying Trump could launch his 2024 campaign for president next month. Let's not get out ahead of ourselves, Paul, but Joseph, Paul, whatever, Paul Joseph, whatever. I just found it interesting. He wants to show DeSantis who the boss is. Apparently, there's a little friction between DeSantis and Trump, and I don't know why. But according to people close to Trump, the former president wants to show closest rival, Governor Ron DeSantis, who's the boss, by staging a massive rally in July in Florida. Reportedly, Trump wants a fireworks heavy spectacular to upstage DeSantis and is already scouting potential locations near to the Florida governor's mansion in Tallahassee. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting because I think there are enough people who, while they like what Trump did in office, might be considering something else. Just something else. So, now, speaking of people who are running for office, this had cracked me up. Apparently, Liz Cheney, since she's not going to win re-election to the House, may run for president? What? The most controversial Republican in Congress will not she's not going to win re-election. She's 30 points down in Wyoming in her primary race. She's not going to win re-election to her House seat, but there's a growing number of Democrats and Republicans who actually believe she should run for president. Mind you, she wouldn't have a prayer of succeeding, but the state of American politics and the Republican Party is so toxic that the prospect of Liz Cheney becoming a serious presidential candidate is not far-fetched as it sounds. Her high-profile role in the January 6th committee has given her a national platform to spout her warnings of doom and gloom about insurrections, which in turn have given her access to a nationwide base of donors. Yeah, it's funny. She's getting money left and right for her congressional run from people all over, mostly Democrat types, and she's not going to win her own primary. That's pretty sad. Anyway, these donors have bankrolled her candidacy to the tune of $10.1 million, swamping her Trump-backed challenger Harriet Hageman's $2 million raised so far. What's significant about the donors is they ain't from Wyoming. According to Mother Jones, the problem is that much of the money is coming from out of state. As Open Secret reported, Texas donors contributed the most money in 2021, with the second highest amount coming from deep blue California. Last year, Cheney received more money from Democratic states like New York and Connecticut than her home state because she doesn't like Trump, and they love you if you don't like Trump. Oh, God. Even Robert Reich, the fake-ass economist and gnome former Clinton, whatever the fuck he did for Clinton. Obama's Treasury Secretary, sees an opening for Cheney. It will be impossible to reunite this nation without a leader who is the exact opposite of Trump, driven not by narcissism, but passion for the rule of law and the Constitution. And war, Sorry. Someone who has staked everything on opposing Trump's demagogic authoritarianism. Excuse me, Robert Reich, you have no room to talk about demagoguery. Sorry. Someone with the huge stores of courage and integrity. Since the attack on the Capitol, Liz Cheney has demonstrated more courage and integrity than any other politician in America. Democratic lawmakers have opposed Trump's big lie, to be sure, but most knew they wouldn't pay a price for their opposition. Liz Cheney knew she would pay a price, and she has. Okay, Robert Reich, you little squirt. Shut up. Anyway, okay, that's enough of that one. Moving on. Also to RJ Media. Apparently, Schiff and Cheney got clown slapped for a January 6th whopper. The January 6th panel, which is made up of Beltway dung beetles. Who wrote this? Kevin Downey Jr. Doesn't surprise me. Okay. I'm going to read that again just so you hear it twice. The January 6th panel, which is made up of Beltway dung beetles, including political shapeshifters Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney, was called out for a vomitously. How do you say this word? Vomitously. Okay, vomitously spewing another load of bull scramble. Adam Pinocchio Schiff, the genius who squawked on CNN that he had seen evidence of Trump-Russia's collusion, but then sheepishly testified under oath that he had not, was blasted along with his skullduggery comrades for their latest lie by none other than Capitol Police Chief. Factorama, the January 6th panel canceled this Wednesday's episode of their televised circus show. No one cares. Fix inflation, you idiots. Yeah. So the lie was the January 6th committee lied when it suggested Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia brought J6 protesters on a reconnaissance tour of the Capitol on January 5th, and that the visitors were hoping to learn the layout of the Capitol in preparation for the mostly peaceful protests the following day. The January 6th committee, chaired by Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi and vice chaired by Cheney, sent a letter to Loudermilk stating the following, quote, based on your review of evidence in the Select Committee's possession, we believe you have information regarding a tour you led through parts of the Capitol complex on January 5th, 2021. The foregoing information raises questions to which the Select Committee must seek answers. Public reporting and witness accounts indicate some individuals and groups engaged in efforts to gather information about the layout of the U.S. Capitol, as well as the House and Senate office buildings in advance of January 6, 2021. Now, naturally, leftist lickspittle news outlets like Huffington Post jumped on the story as though it were real. But according to Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger, it's not. The truth is, Loudermilk simply gave a tour to some constituents. Manger sent a letter to Representative Rodney Davis of Illinois, the ranking Republican on the House Administration Committee. In it, he stated there was no evidence Loudermilk led a super secret info gathering mission on January 5th. Just the News obtained a copy of the letter. Quote, there is no evidence that Representative Loudermilk entered the U.S. Capitol with his group on January 5th, 2021. We train our officers on being alert for people conducting surveillance or reconnaissance. We do not consider any of the activities we observed as suspicious. So Loudermilk was cleared, but on the January committee, they tried to say that they did this. Anyway, Loudermilk has been cleared, but the damage is done. Schiff is a reprehensive quotidian lying flounder who swears by the old adage, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. Republicans are understandably sick of the fountain of grotty Democrat backbiting. All I can think of this is a Soviet-style propaganda trial, like a show trial. Representative Claudia Tenney complained to Just the News. Okay, so anyway, that's the they're still talking about, they gave him reconnaissance tours. That's bullshit. Anyway, good morning, Aaron Meredith. How you doing? Nice to see you. All right. I still have that pinned. All right. Let's continue. Why did I open this? I'm not the biggest fan of Ted Cruz, but this answer he got from an FBI agent in a hearing at the Senate is, well, it's fascinating. Let's check out Senator Cruz questioning the FBI about January 6th.
I want to turn to the FBI. How many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th?
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Yes, you can.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Ms. Sadburn, who is Ray Epps?
This is a while back, but still.
I'm aware of the individual, sir. I don't have the specific background to him.
Why?
Well, there are a lot of people who are understandably very concerned about Mr. Epps. On the night of January 5th, 2021, Epps wandered around the crowd that had gathered, and there's video out there of him chanting, "Tomorrow, we need to get into the Capitol, into the Capitol." This was strange behavior, so strange that the crowd began chanting, "Fed, Fed, 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 Fed." Ms. Sandburn, was Ray Epps a Fed?
Sir, I cannot answer that question.
Oh, why can't you just say no?
On January 6th,
why can't you say no?
Mr. Epps is seen whispering to a person, and 5 seconds later, 5 seconds after he's whispering to a person, that same person begins to forcibly tear down the barricades. Did Mr. Epps urge them to tear down the barricades?
Hello?
Sir, similar to the other
Bueller?
answers, I cannot answer that.
Bueller? So anyway, that was back, that was a Senate hearing a while ago, but still. The fact that she's not answering is very sus. All they had to do is say no. Can you say no? If you can't say no to that question, and obfuscate even answering the question, well, what does that tell you? I'm going to skip this one, but this, if you want to read it, Honest Liberals Know Trump is Innocent and the J6 hearing are a sham. Talking about, I've been said a couple different times how Rachel Maddow's statement about, well, Trump is a mile and a half away when the first thing's breached, right? Also, Jonathan Turley, lawyer. Now, it's interesting. Jonathan Turley sometimes reminds me of Tim Pool, where it seems like every time Jonathan Turley speaks, he's defending Republicans. So he's not necessarily the most credible to a lot of people on the left, even though he himself is on the left and has left leaning. He's definitely a Democrat. But he's also saying that this committee here is kind of a sham. But you can read that one yourself. That'll be in the link down below. By the way, everything that I'm showing you, even if I don't get to it or even if I don't read it, will be in a single link in the description down below this video when it's over. I will update that during the outro. It'll have every tweet, every article, every video will be in a single link called a one-tab link. So it'll be at the bottom of the page. Okay, now get rid of Ace here because I'm not going to get through it. Add any more to this. Now, let's just get into some odds and ends here. Apparently, this is Biden's. This is one of Biden's advisors who says social media companies need to silence anyone who criticizes green energy transitions. One of Joe Biden's senior advisors told a reporter this week that social media companies should be cracking down on and censoring anyone who speeds critical information, whoever tweets or reads or writes. I think that's a typo. Information critical of the administration's so-called green energy transition. So here's, the fact that this article is written, I have a prediction. You're going to start getting dinged for climate any kind of climate commentary that contradicts the administration. National Climate Advisor Gina McCarthy made the comments in an interview with a reporter from Axios, stating it's not so much denying the problem. What the fossil fuel industry is doing is seeding doubt about the costs associated with green energy and whether or not they work or not. Well, we already know they don't work. She continued. Let's just let her say it because I'm fumbling.
And so the challenge is now that we're moving from denial to actually just trying to disengage the public from understanding the values of solar energy, the values of wind energy, the benefits of clean energy. We have to get tighter. We have to get better at communicating. And frankly, the tech companies have to stop allowing specific individuals over and over again to spread disinformation. That's what the fossil fuel companies pay for. That's what folks who make money out of fossil fuels and don't make money and don't care about saving consumers costs. That's what they do. We have to be smarter than that, and we need the tech companies to really jump in.
Smarter than that? Oh, because she's from Boston. I'm like, what is smarter? She meant smarter. That's let me translate smarter. Yeah, so the idea that, for example, Biden is going to use the Defense Production Act to create more solar panels. Oh my God, how did this guy get in office? Anyway, other odds and ends, leaked internal Twitter Slack chat. I don't think deplatforming libs of TikTok is going to cause a mass exodus. The twerps at Twitter are conspiring to ban the account Libs of TikTok for reposting publicly available flyers about family pride events that have seen protesters show up in opposition to the public sexualization and grooming of children during Pride Month all over the country. One of the events was a drag queen story hour that protesters interrupted at a library in San Francisco. The left has been breathlessly accusing Libs of TikTok of putting people's lives in danger and calling the account owner a domestic terrorist for reposting publicly available information. Chaya Raichik of Libs of TikTok is going to get somebody killed, said Ari Drennan. This account has gone from posting cringe compilations to target selection for domestic terrorists in like 3 months flat. Now, this is because apparently at an event in San Francisco, they're claiming that 8 to 10 Proud Boys stormed a drag queen story time at the San Lorenzo Public Library in the Liberal Bay Area, filming, shouting slurs, and terrifying a bunch of children who had come to hear a story. Sheriff's deputies had to escort them out. Reporters, please DM me for more info. Now, what the account is actually doing is posting video evidence of more of the gross grooming behavior targeted at children that are happening at pride events across the country. If the people hosting these events are so sure they are appropriate and fine, then why would they care if more people know about them? The Drag Your Kids to Pride event in Dallas went over like a lead balloon, and protesters showed up to tell the parents bringing the kids to gay bars that there's something wrong with them, and rightly so. This is crazy. Why is it legal to have a PDSM kink fetishist on the street performing in front of children? In fact, well, anyway, I won't show the videos there. The only person getting death threats appears to be Rychek, who says she's moved locations until the threats are investigated. Elon Musk has weighed in asking Twitter why they won't do anything. So she's getting death threats on Twitter, and Twitter's apparently not doing anything about it. And finally, Elon Musk, she complained about it, and Elon Musk actually responded to her saying, "Why, Twitter? Why is this happening?" But Twitter has at least one mole who sent the Libs of TikTok truly enlightening internal Slack chat messages from the Twitter employees discussing banning the account. This conversation is exactly the way I pictured Twitter employees talking about us. Like, quote, like, I don't get how this account, which exists solely to generate targeted violence at marginalized people, continues to be allowed to post, says one twerp. But if we deplatform this account, we might erode trust in our platform from users who already think we're irredeemably biased against conservatives, says another. Yeah, I mean, we successfully deplatformed Trump. I don't think deplatforming Libs of TikTok is going to cause a mass exodus, but I guess it may not be in our fiduciary interest to enact a ban on a high-profile account right now. So they're trying to figure out how they can ban her. Trans people are being targeted for genocidal violence during Pride Month. Are they? How so? Give me an example. Targeted for genocidal violence? Where does it happen? Says another with no self-awareness or grasp of reality. There has been no genocidal violence or any other kind of violence against any trans people because of Rycheck's post, nor has Rycheck suggested there should be. Her account and some others are interested in stopping the sexual grooming of children and over-sexualized culture we are living in, have tried to raise awareness of the shocking and disgusting things happening in the name of Pride. Like I said, some of my gay friends don't hate Pride Month just because of that. Across the country in front of children, pointing out what bad things the left is doing to children is free speech, whether the rainbow cult likes it or not. It would be pretty easy to make it stop. Stop inviting children to your kink parties. But what do I know? I'm just a normal person who thinks that kids shouldn't be exposed to dildos and stripping. So, including Christina Aguilera. We talked about that one yesterday. All right, there's enough of that. Next. It's amazing how much time. Okay, we already talked about the WHO renaming monkeypox because, of course, moving on. Oh, in Virginia. Let's see, fit that on there. Parents are organized to stop misgendering rules at public schools. Students could be suspended for using the wrong pronouns for a classmate, which we've seen a couple examples of that. Well, Virginia parents are holding a rally Thursday to oppose Fairfax County School Board vote on a proposed handbook change that could suspend students as young as 4th grade for, quote, malicious misgendering. Fairfax County Schools would reserve the right to suspend for a week students who engage in malicious dead naming or use of slurs based on gender identities, gender expression, and sexual orientation, according to a copy of the new Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. Now, let me stop for a second. Malicious dead naming is a weird one. Now, I can understand that you don't want people using slurs because of people's gender identity or sexual expression or sexual orientation. That shouldn't be done. But the idea is to suspend someone for a week, maybe have some guidance first. Anyway, parents opposed to the measure will speak out against the handbook proposals in front of the elementary school where the school board will meet to vote on Thursday evening. Many say they are motivated by a desire to put their child's education first rather than gender politics. The school board is prioritizing these terrorists are out there yelling at their school boards and causing violence of words and shit. Anyway, the vote is the latest political scuffle has pitted parents against the heavy-handed tactics of public school officials led by teachers, unions, and left-wing activist groups. School boards across the nation have implemented policies to encourage the expression of sexual orientation and gender identity in the classroom, often without parental consent. Anyway, it goes into more about the protests they're going to have, but good. I mean, look, if people are so concerned about democracy, well, this is a democratic process too. Your local school board is a democratic process. It's not them ruling over you and your children. They're not your children's school boards. They're our children. And so we want to express our displeasure with some of your bullshit. And that should be just fine. And we should not be labeled as domestic terrorists for doing so. It's democracy. Moving on. Biden, I just thought this was funny. Biden believes Japanese American internment during World War II is being whitewashed in schools. Really? You don't think they said something about I learned about this in school. Joe Biden signed a bill on Monday that directed Congress to study the creation of an Asian American History Museum on the National Mall in Washington. Okay. that's not really controversial. There's a museum honoring just about anything and everyone else on the National Mall. So why not Asian Americans? Okay. But during the signing ceremony, Joe Biden just couldn't resist some racist pandering to the Asian American community. He uttered the extraordinarily untruth that the illegal and unconstitutional internment of Japanese Americans during World War II was being left untold in schools. Whitewashed, he claims. Here's his words. This year commemorates the 80th anniversary of the incarceration of 120,000 American citizens who were Japanese American during World War II, which included, and excuse my reference to two friends, it included a dear friend who, as a child, the late Norm Mineta, who went on to serve. He was in those camps when he was a child, went on to serve in the United States Army and in Congress and in the cabinet. The commemoration comes at a time when there are those who seek to whitewash the history in our schools that took place, the president added. And I think, excuse it again, in Senate language, a point of personal privilege, I want to thank my dear friend who's not here, the late Senator Danny Inouye, who taught me so much. Now, to use the term that the president may have spoken at one time, it's possible that Biden got his colored folk mixed up. He may have been thinking about schools being forbidden from teaching critical race theory, which, in a bit of irony, lost on our doddering president, actually wanted to whitewash American history to reflect some racialist untruths that made our kids oppressors. As it turns out, Japanese internment during the war was the most discussed subject in Asian American curriculum. In a study published in January by So-Yoon Ahn, a professor of elementary and early childhood education at Georgia's Kennesaw State University, found the teaching of Japanese American internment is required by the history standards of 25 of the 32 states that had specific Asian American history requirements, the most common event specified. So anyway, in shorter, Joe Biden was talking straight out of his hind parts. All right, next. There's a good article about, I'm going to skip today, but as a black man who refuses to be a victim, I have a very different definition of who the white supremacists are. I'm going to save this for a video, but I agree wholeheartedly with this article in the New York Post, but I'm going to leave it in the tabs down below. Now, Democrats are, I started the show talking about the possibility of a Republican wave, and we got the example in South Texas of a very heavily favored Democratic district now having a Republican congresswoman. And this brings us to how Democrats feel about it, particularly this particular Congressman Jamal Bowman, who believes that who believes that there'll be impeachment, violence, and even a civil war if Republicans win in November. Yay. Congressman Jamal Bowman, Democrat from New York, predicted that the effects would be disastrous if Republicans were to win control of Congress in November, claiming that anything from violence to civil war was possible. Now, I am going to predict, because I didn't read this entire article, but I'm going to predict that Congressman Bowman wasn't talking about violence from Democrats and Democrat-adjacent groups like Antifa and Women's March and BLM. I'm thinking he's probably thinking that the violence is going to come from the right, but I'm not sure why he would think that. Bowman, during the weekend, appeared on MSNBC's Cross Connection, argued that Republicans would likely impeach President Joe Biden as soon as possible if they can gain control of Congress. Oh, the irony. Anyway, here's Congressman Bowman, and it's on Tiffany Cross's show, so just prepare yourself for just some major BS. But anyway, play the clip. Thank you.
Should the GOP retake Congress in the fall, what happens to the January 6th committee investigation and its findings, and what might the GOP do or not do with their newly claimed power?
So the January 6th commission would cease to exist. The
it's going to be done by then anywhere.
Suppressed and will not be admitted into any further investigations while the GOP will be in power. They would impeach President Biden as quickly as possible.
Why?
And they will
You'd have to
continue
have
to find ways to impeach him going forward. It would also embolden Republicans and the far right.
Whoa, Congressman Bowman. It sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. They would impeach the president and just find as many ways as they could to do it and make up shit. Oh, wait, that was the last president. Anyway.
White and white nationalists across the country.
Wait, what?
As quickly as possible. And they will continue to find ways to impeach him going forward. It would also embolden Republicans and the far right and white nationalists across the country to begin to believe that it is their time to not just take power in the House, but the Senate, the White House, and state houses across the country. And we got to understand that this is a group that has been radicalized by the Great Replacement myth and many other things, and have been pushing for violence and pushing for even civil war.
Okay.
So that is what's at stake right now in terms of this election.
Okay.
Should the GOP retake
okay, I am
Congress
curious.
in the fall?
I am curious. I'm curious. So, this this whole great replacement thing that they like to talk about, because this idiot, and where was that was the idiot in New York, right, that was bringing that up. The Democrats are having a little bit of trouble with some of the replacers, as we've seen in South Texas recently. So I'm just saying. Okay, last couple notes. Apparently, an explosive device was found at the home of a California councilwoman. This is a San Jose councilwoman, Davis. Her house in Willow Glen, and it was spotted by a neighbor who reported a suspicious device, according to NBC Bay Area. Now, this is a councilwoman who, she was a Democrat, and she changed her party affiliation to unaffiliated. She's not a Republican, but she let's see, the city lawmaker who unsuccessfully ran for mayor in the June 7th primary election said she was disturbed by the incident and hopes the perpetrator is caught. Anyway, she stopped being a Democrat and became unaffiliated. Last couple of headlines. We'll skip that one. There's a couple more. Jim Banks presses Biden for answers after some more Black Lives Matter's arson charges were dropped. Let's see. Here it is. This is another Breitbart article. I'll put it on the screen real quick. Law enforcement officials arrested and charged then 19-year-old Victor Sanchez Santa in federal court with arson charges in June 2020, shortly after he allegedly ignited a fire that burned a New York Police Department vehicle during the aftermath of the George Floyd riots. And Jim Banks is asking the Biden's Justice Department, well, why are we dropping the charges for this again? Because you got some people who were just standing around on January 6th that are still in jail. According to a federal complaint filed at Sanchez Santa on June 9th, 2020, at approximately 1:20 a.m., Sanchez Santa stopped his car beside a New York police vehicle on West 42nd Street in Manhattan. He got out of his car, took a cloth glove in his hand and held the glove to a flame until it ignited. He then put the burning glove underneath the police vehicle and got back to his car, leaving the glove burning underneath the car. After his arrest, the United States Attorney Jeffrey Berman praised federal and local law enforcement officials for their quick response and help identifying the defendant. Although arson carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in prison and a maximum 20-year sentence, Biden's DOJ tossed out the case in November 2021. Okay, so Jim Banks is asking that, and Banks requested Attorney General Merrick Garland send his office all evidence in the case and information pertaining to this defendant acquired subsequent to the filing of the indictment that contributed to the DOJ's decision to drop the charges on June 24th. So Banks is starting to ask questions that everyone should be asking. Why are they doing this to one group and not to the other? The other two articles that I have left is it's one I was going to get to today about America's new woke HIV positive military, which I will. I'm going to skip again today, but I have it yesterday's links and today's links. And then finishing up, what else here? Oh, we already got, Don Lemon was trending this morning, so I opened this article. Don Lemon isn't buying the White House's inflation spin. You know, when you lose Don Lemon, you may get concerned. But let's just watch this clip. We'll finish off with this after. Let me just check this other one. Okay, I'm going to actually get rid of that one for today, and you don't need that. So let's just finish with Don Lemon clip, and then we're out of here. The press, oh no, there it is. There we go. This is kind of it's shot Friday. I don't know. Just watching this press secretary try and answer questions is always humorous. So here we go. Maybe if it click, come on. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna get a damn commercial. Damn it. Well, hang on. We'll get through the Xfinity commercial. We'll watch the clip. Then I'm gonna call it a day. And there we go. Nope, another commercial. Skip ad. There we go.
Absolutely. The economy clearly in a rough spot. Yeah. Is the president being realistic about just how much this is impacting Americans and their pocketbooks?
No,
well,
he's
the
not.
president understands.
He has no clue. He has no clue because the president hasn't had to buy anything for himself since 1971.
President that understands what happens around the kitchen table.
No, he doesn't.
He grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, when prices go up just a little bit. It really hurts families, and he understands the anxiety that people are currently feeling.
How does he understand it?
He has made this his top economic priority as we're talking about inflation, as we're talking about the economy. Like, we have to remember where this country was more than a year ago when he walked into office. The economy was not in a great place.
Because?
Schools were closed, businesses were closed.
Why?
We didn't have a comprehensive COVID strategy.
Yes, we did.
And what he ended up doing was meet that moment, pass the American Rescue Plan. Only Democrats passed that plan.
That's
he
why
signed
we're
it.
in
It was
inflation.
his plan. And now we're seeing an economy that's bouncing back.
How?
8 million jobs, 8.7 million jobs created.
People went back to work.
Unemployment is low. So that is why we believe
not
we're
as
in
low
a
as it was
good
before
position
the
to
pandemic.
take on inflation. But yes, we understand that folks are feeling this, and we got to remember. We got to remember. We're thinking about gas prices and food. This is coming from Putin's war against Ukraine.
It's not.
That Putin amassed forces
Food
on
prices
the border
were
of Ukraine,
way up before Putin ever
we saw from
invaded.
then until now, we haven't seen
that
$2
the food
increase
price yet.
per gallon on gas.
Okay.
And so this is a big part of it too, because we have to understand, Don,
right
where
now.
this
Don,
comes
be
from
skeptical.
as well.
Okay, I understand that, but even listen, before Putin the war started, I remember when the first bombs dropped. I was on the air with Matthew Chance reporting live.
I remember.
Although
I saw
many
you.
economists do cite the war in Ukraine and supply chain issues. We did have that before the war.
Yep.
Supply chain issues. They also say that last year's stimulus package, which you mentioned, contributed to inflation.
Yep.
Does the Biden administration bear some responsibility for this?
So, first of all, the American Rescue Plan met the moment, and it has
met
put
the moment.
us
How?
in a
It hasn't
place
done anything.
where we can actually put us in a place where the American people feel we can take on inflation. What I mean by that is we've seen growth,
by
with
depleting our
as
savings?
I mentioned, more than 8 million jobs, and now we're transitioning into a
I did get a new job.
stable growth. The president actually
I
wrote
never
an
stopped
op-ed
working.
to discuss that himself.
Inflation's
lay
killing
out
me.
his plan on how we're going to bring down inflation. And so that's really important in order to take
spending
this on.
money.
We got to have be in a good historic economic place, which is where we
Stop
are
printing
right now.
money.
I want to talk about this bipartisan agreement on gun control, Karine. It includes an enhanced review process
that's the only
for
part of it
buyers
that I wanted.
under 20.
That's the only part I wanted to talk about. We'll get into the gun control debate again another day. But I must leave you today because past my bedtime. Well, not my bedtime, my other work time. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Lots of people here today. Great to see some names I don't see as often as I'd like to, but I understand everyone has different schedules. And that's it. I'll be back tomorrow because I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern. 9 o'clock Central for anyone else who's in my part of the Midwest. But thank you. If you haven't done so, hit the like button. 38 people, 32 likes. That's great. That's a pretty good ratio, but let's get it up. If you haven't done it yet, now's the time because they're almost done. Also, thank you for those who shared the stream out. You can share the stream out before, during, after the stream. Just give people a look. Let them know it's here. Maybe they'll subscribe. I got a new subscriber today. Thank you, Zach. And also, if you'd like to sponsor the show, 24 hours a day at pdognight.live, right there. You can do that 24 hours a day. I will read your messages on the show. And same with Super Chats, if you don't mind giving Susan 30%. And if you'd like to, there's other ways you can sponsor the show. Those are down in the description. Merch and a couple other venues to Venmo. That's a hint. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks to our sponsor. Rachel Maddows Dildo, you are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Guys, I got to go. Thanks so much. I will see you tomorrow. I'll have the link in the news link updated in the description during the outro. So if you want to wait around for that, I'll chat when I've done that. Thanks. I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.